You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Wepa, what am I? This is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, we talking some indie comics goodness. Another homie has been around for quite some time. Yeah, baby. I mean, my man over here is a writer, a video game veteran, a publisher with, again, that press that we're talking about, celebrating 10 years in Magnetic Press. Let me bring about that big boss. Has been around a comic book game before, man, in several roles. We're going to learn all about his origin story. The one, the only, the mighty Mike Kenndy. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Thank you for hanging out with me today and our fellow Crusaders to talk about your journey and, of course, everything Magnetic Press, because first up, man, a big old salute. 10-year anniversary. Woo!
Yeah, it's been a long decade.
Hey, listen, I remember when you guys started, I remember getting those emails of this new press. I'm like, what's Magnetic Press? And to see you guys still hanging out, and doing your thing and producing quality content. Because, hey, guys, I saw Jordan Magna over the weekend at New York Comic Con. He brought that baby with him, Prince of Persia. My God, what a beautiful looking book when you see it in person. Woof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fire stuff. All right, Mike. We gotta hang out. People gotta know. People need to know, the mystery, the origin story of Mike Kennedy. So let's reel it back just a tad. Tell us a bit where you originally from, and the most important question you ever be hit with in your life. What is the first thing in fandom that you ever fell in love with?
Oh, geez, man, that's really going way back. I mean, my dad was in the Air Force, so we traveled around a lot. And, I think it was just pop culture stuff that kept me grounded, really. I mean, of course, the first thing I remember is Speed Racer and, some of those early anime cartoons. And then pretty soon it was Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica and everything else that followed, comic books.
You're one of the first to say Speed Racer. I'll say that much. Everybody always comes up. Star Wars. That's the most popular one.
See, I had to go back a little further than that. Yeah. I figured everybody would say Star Wars. I was going to go there, but then it's like, you know what? It started before that.
Yeah, because as much as I could say my Christ star for Marvel, started my love for comics, but, everything really started with my love for robots, and that's grandma putting me on to Mazinger Z.
Yeah.
So like that was my shit. So yeah, my love of robots, actually comes before comics.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Japanese animation, kind of the roots like that, and like Gatchaman and some of those really early ones. I mean, they just got me looking for 4-color pictures. And, comic books, and then it was all.
So,
over.
Can you say you were an army brat? Were you a collector of any kind? Or did you find yourself with tribes as well? Maybe geek tribes, or were you the lone wolf because of your situation?
I think my first introduction to comic books was one of my dad's friends. His son was going off to college. He was getting rid of all of his comics. He was like, "Ed, does your son want these?" And he brought over literally like 2 large black plastic garbage bags full of comics. And I swear it was like the best Halloween ever.
It was heaven.
Yeah, I just sat there and sorted through them all. And, there's about, okay, what is this, X-Men? Okay, I'll read that. And Atari Force? Wow, I'm into Atari.
Atari Force, he said. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. So, yeah, I mean, it just started with just dove in head first into garbage bags of comics.
Yeah, man, but first of all, then 2 bags of garbage, but at least it didn't land in the garbage. They went to someone that appreciated it. Thank you.
I think that's what his son was looking forward to. He was looking for somebody who would give these a good home.
Yeah, man, why not, man?
Yeah, I think I probably still have some of those in a storage unit somewhere.
Oh, nice. Don't say so much. Protect those books with your life right now. Come on, man. Physical media, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Paper's forever. Digital is not.
Yeah, it's not exactly. They could cancel your account. There goes your collection. Goodbye.
Oh yeah,
I've heard some nightmares before. Like, I do not want to be involved with that, please.
yeah. Suddenly you got a new version of Windows on your machine, and it won't open up a file from 15.
Yo, I'll catch a stroke right there. Don't play with me. I go, hey, yeah, who's running Microsoft now?
Yeah, exactly.
You're getting choked out, homie. Anyway, all right. So talk to me about this journey itself, because from what I see, you've been a writer, a video game veteran. You know what I mean? So talk about that creative journey. When did that spark for you?
Well, when I got out of college, I mean, I used to go to, man, I've been going to San Diego Comic Con since, 1987. So,
Oh,
I
doing the Comic Cons too, folks. Apparently,
yeah. So, I mean, I met some, some artists and some writers just doing conventions, but I was just a punk kid. I didn't know any better. So my first job out of college was working in video games.
of course.
But all of those comic book friends, they were like, hey, you write stories. You want to write some comics? So next thing I know, I was writing some Ghost for Dark Horse and
What?
a couple of Star Wars books.
Wait, so your friends were in Dark Horse? You failed to mention that little part.
Oh, yeah. Chris Warner and Randy Stradley. I mean, they're the godfathers of Dark Horse. But yeah, they were great.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So I was writing comics on one side, and then I was like working in video games on the other. Everybody I knew in video games wanted to be in comics. Everybody I knew in comics wanted to be in video games. So I was in that sweet spot where I was making a lot of friends in both directions.
You were the uber cool guy. You were
exactly,
world, baby. Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Love
And eventually it just turned into the point where, I mean, after 20 years of producing video games, man, I was just ready to just do comics full time. So it was like around, I don't know, 2011, I think. I joined this company called Archaea.
Okay.
And they mostly did graphic novels. They did like Mouse Guard and a bunch of the like Jim Henson books and Labyrinth and stuff. So I worked with them for about 3-4 years. Then they got acquired by Boom Studio.
Yeah.
And they didn't need two publishers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't need two publishers. They offered me a job as an editor, but I kind of had other bigger ideas. So I took that opportunity to step out on my own and start Magnetic Press. That was 2014.
All right. So did you think that, with the experience you had, that you were just ready at that point in time? Did you know what you were getting into from the publisher side?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, actually, the one good thing about Magnetic Press is, we're really well known for our foreign translations. We'll pick up a bunch of, French comics or Italian comics, Spanish comics that are already finished. So, I don't have to worry about the stress of dealing with artists and writers to finish stuff.
Nice.
And then, as far as like getting them printed and distributed and marketed, all of that I learned from Archaea.
Yeah, you got Chris in the house right here talking about the good old Archaea days.
Good old Archaea days. He was there.
That's a Magnetic Press. So talk about then the first book published under Magnetic. I mean, what was it, and what was that journey like to get that first book published?
So it was a book called Super Ego he's a Brazilian artist and writer named Caio Oliveira. And he and I had worked together on a couple of short stories before that. And while we worked on those short stories, he showed me, hey, I got this comic book that you think you could, show it to Dark Horse or something. And I was like, you know what? Let me publish it. And it was our first Kickstarter campaign, and it did all right. I mean, this is 2014, so it was still the early years of Kickstarter, but yeah, it got us off the ground and got us our first book. And I think we had 7 books in the first year, and that was number 1.
Oh, great! There we go. So talk to me then. You mentioned the first book via Kickstarter, or what was it about Kickstarter that you found as a good, viable platform for Magnetic Press? First book.
Yeah, at the time, Kickstarter really was geared for helping people raise money to get something done. Nowadays it's more of just a marketing and sales platform. But back then, it helped us make the money we needed to print that Super Ego book and get it colorized. And we made just enough to get it printed. And then we got into bookstores to keep us going and get that next book made.
Did you have prior experience with the crowdfunding platform before that?
Not really. I mean, other than being a backer myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I backed a few things, but that was the first time actually stepping to the plate, and we hit it. We hit the ball. We made a base run.
Excellent. So did you find it easy, to publish, again, via that Kickstarter, via that platform? There's anything you learned, going forward from that initial uh,
I
campaign?
mean, it was slow at the beginning. I mean, I think we probably did maybe 6 campaigns over the course of 3 years, and each one was a learning lesson. Some of them did really well. Some of them were a bit more of a struggle to climb through. But when we started doing Kickstarters again, about 4 years ago in 2020, when the pandemic hit, yeah, we put all those lessons to good use. And I mean, Kickstarter's really become a center point of our business plan. Really, I think we just finished our 40th campaign.
40? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
Yep. It's been an education, but I mean, seriously, crowdfunding is just the way to go. I mean, people come up to me, like I did a talk about a couple of weeks ago at this university, Grand Valley University in Michigan,
Okay.
and it was all artists and writers and wannabe, comic book kids, and they're all like, "How do I get into publishing?" And I'm like, "The door is right there. Kickstarter and Shopify, and open your own, webtoons. I mean, the tools are right there for everybody."
So easy nowadays as compared to back in the day, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pen and paper, the mail, walking.
Yeah, you don't even need.
Cord.
Yeah, you can do it all on an iPad these days. Yeah.
Crazy, right? Somebody was talking about that in the aspect of music. They're like, artists back in the day had a hustle and whatnot, and now a kid could be in their bedroom with all these applications, make a hit song in 10 minutes on their bed.
I know. Yeah, I know. Well, it's if I got any hobbies left, if I got any free time, I will admit I'm kind of a laptop composer, DJ, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, so shit, Mad Mike. That's it, Mad Mike from Magnetic Press DJing on the scene. I love it. Let's go.
Yeah, Neurobellum. Yeah, that's. I mean, I probably got all those programs and DAWs and plugins and VSTs.
Oh, dope.
Yep.
I dig it. I play with AI music, just learning it because I know AI people, put a stick face on it, but there's a lot of cool little apps that allow you to pick instruments and beats per minute and whatnot, and really make something out of that using words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fun. So I don't know, I just have fun with that. That's kind of my joint. I've actually made some pretty cool beats, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you create for yourself and you like it, that's all that matters.
It's for me to have fun. I ain't trying to stun on it. It's all from Omega having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So talk to me then. That the most challenging part though, establishing Magnetic Press. So again, you've been working for others, and you're taking this dive. You're doing it via crowdfunding. Like, what was the challenging parts? Of not again you being on your own and say, "Shit, I'm going to tackle this dolo."
Yeah, I think actually that's probably the hardest part is just doing it on my own. I mean, I used to like pack up web store orders in our kitchen, and my wife would help me out a little bit, but she's got a job too, so she doesn't have time for this.
I think I can get those books out of my kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, and then pretty soon the garage is full, and it's like, oh, I need a bigger storage unit. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, honestly, I think the biggest hurdle has just been getting stuff done with such a small team. I mean, I've got help now from, some really great, passionate fans and contractors and talented artists and stuff. But, still just running the day to day. It's like getting inventory logistics straightened out and getting things to the printer on time and having to deal with distributors and their solicitation deadlines and all the marketing deadlines. And
jeez.
I don't know social media tricks all that well. So, we got somebody else who's helping out with that. So it's just,
we're men of a certain age. Like, we could dabble a tad, if you will, but there's a certain point where like, all right, that's enough. Like,
Yeah, I know I gave up MySpace a long time ago, so I know enough to know what's old. But
where is Tom, by the way?
yeah, exactly. What's he
Give
up
me
to?
the graphic novel. What happened to Tom? All right.
Yeah,
Now let me ask you. Let me bring this up on that, baby, because again we were talking about Magnetic Con 2024 celebrating 10 years of excellence, and now something very important that's probably on the mind of many creators is, most importantly, how do you choose the type of stories and creators that Magnetic Press works with?
honestly, I don't think I've got like a formal filter, but I will go to. There's a convention in France every year in January in Angoulême, France, and that's kind
I've
of
heard that one, yes.
it's kind of the big one there. It's kind of the San Diego Comic Con of
Really?
Europe, and I'll go there every January, and chances are I'll come back with a wish list as long as my arm, and so
What?
I just get to cherry pick. And so really, I mean, right now at this point, I don't know if there is anything that says what a magnetic book is, other than I think it's cool, you know. So I mean, I think that it's starting to fall into a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit of a category where, the art's got to be really good. It's got to be unique art. It's got to be
Yeah.
something that looks like it's probably, if it doesn't look like it should be animated, it's something that would be really interesting to see animated.
Okay.
And then story wise, I don't know. We've been doing a lot more genre stuff lately, like sci-fi, fantasy, horror. We got our first Eisner Award for our Dracula Frankenstein.
Hey, woo! Congrats.
Yeah, so I think horror is probably going to start filling up our slate a little bit moving forward. But we're responding to what fans are responding to. I mean, I think in the last 4 years, we've seen a lot of people follow us from one Kickstarter to the next, and I think we've tried a lot of different types of titles on Kickstarter, like some cyberpunk stuff, and then horror stuff, and then and then we'll try like a feel good, heartwarming story about a puppy, and it's like we'll see what resonates with the backers. And I mean, we've got a really strong community, so everything seems to respond pretty well, but there are clearly some things that perform better.
So we're going to talk about that. Can you tell us about maybe a particular series or title for Magnetic Press that you're particularly proud of?
Oh man. I mean, because I like them all. I mean, I think probably the most recent thing that I've really dug is this book called Frontier by Guillaume Sagelin. And it's just this really cool hard sci-fi story about mankind finally reaching out in space. But the cool thing is all the characters are like these anime manga kind of chibi style, like kind of small characters. Actually, we created some figurines of some of the characters.
Cool. That's fire.
So I really liked this series.
Oh, that's dope. Oh man, I love that right there.
Yeah.
People would say that's me walking around with my tech and shit.
Right, exactly. So I really like that book a lot, but I mean, there's so many. I like everything that we do. It's funny. It's like every time we get a new book ready for Kickstarter, that book becomes my favorite. Like when we were doing Monte Cristo with Jordan, Monte Cristo was my favorite.
Oh, dude, I mean, that book is gorgeous. You know what? Let me show books away. That was going to be the second. This book right here, folks, you got to see this. I have a video which I'm going to be sharing over the course of this weekend because me and Jordan sat down at New York Comic Con.
Oh, and
yeah, man. He had these books on. Let me tell you guys, wow, Magnetic Press, you guys murdered the look of this book. I saw this cover right here, and then the special cover that has the imprint on it.
Yeah.
Yo. Oh my! I wish it was here, dude. And a big shout out to Melissa for handing this out too from Don't Happy Art. That book, dude, and the artistry, everything. This book is just effing gorgeous. Holy shit.
And Jordan is a fantastic writer. I mean, I think most people remember him from Prince of Persia and as a programmer, but the thing is he made his mark in video games as a writer. I mean, that's what set Prince of Persia apart, is nobody really thought about story before him, and he just he just kept evolving as a storyteller. I mean, Monte Cristo, I mean, it's a retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, but in like a post 9/11 setting, and it's great. I mean, I read that thing, and I was like, why is this thing not on HBO as a miniseries? Maybe it will someday. Who knows?
Someday, I'm sure it's gonna get picked up. There's gonna be one of those magnetic press recently picked up by. Hey, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, really.
But you know, not I know we went there, but talk to us. What was Magnetic Con 2024 as part of Backer Kids Comictopia? What was this all about?
Well, so this is our third annual. So instead of spending a ton of money on a physical booth at San Diego Comic-Con, we decided, well, we'll just have a virtual booth and pretty much just run a big convention sale online. And we thought, okay, well, we'll call it Magneticon, and we did that 3 years ago, and this year was our third, but it just coincided with our 10th anniversary. So
nice,
and it also coincided with Backer Kit. They just started that Comictopia event, so I mean, we'll see if they do that every year, but yeah.
I saw some of our friends within the indie community, because it is small, you know, nonetheless, and a lot of them were taking part in that. So that was pretty cool that Bagger Kid did that, you know, just to put on other people. And again, folks, we just talked about this amazing looking book, and Chris is dead ass right, man. The logo, F, yes, it will make a dope tat. And before Omni was, you know, showing you off about the music skills, you know, book trailer music and all that stuff. Hey, look at you getting around the business, huh? I dig it. So then we have this one, Aster of Pan. Talk to me. What's this one all about?
So this is for the second book in the series, The Source. But Aster of Pan is, I mean, and this is another one of, I mean, I just love Merwan's stuff. I love this series. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic scenario where, you know, the world is all in ruins, but people, they get by, you know, on just agriculture and scavenging and stuff, but warfare and conflicts are all solved through a game of dodgeball. So the first book is all about the Pan, which is one country, they're invaded by another country called Fortuna, and in order to solve that, they have to play a 3-round match of dodgeball, high stakes.
Over the border? Like, is it dodgeball over the border or some shit?
Yeah, I mean, there are 3 rounds with increasing stakes each time, but I mean, it's a great story. And then the second book, we just kickstarted the second book in the series. It'll actually be out. I think it should be out in December. But yeah, I mean, it's a great series, and it's all hand painted watercolors. And I don't know if you could recognize, but those covers were by Peach Momoko.
Yeah, man. I mean, who can't tell? I mean, gorgeous looking. I mean, again, how do you decide on your packaging? Because Magnetic Press, I'll tell you this, it is shelf porn, man. Let me tell you, sexy effing books, man. Great design. I mean, what goes into that? Who makes those decisions, dude?
I'd say a lot of them are me, but I brought a lot of that from Archaea, because Archaea was really known for doing hardcover books and like doing really nice, you know, textures and like quarter binding and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to carry that torch with our books, but all of our books have curved corners, which is kind of a magnetic signature. And then, I always try to make, if you're going to do a slipcase, do something really interesting or different. So, like, you know, and a lot of times we'll do die cut windows on the slipcases, like the Dracula, you know.
Oh my God! Look,
stuff like that.
I'm saying, yeah.
And actually, we did a series called it was 2 separate standalone books. One was called Lost Letters, and the other was My Dear Pierrot. Yeah. We try to acetate plastic.
Oh.
So, you know, it's cool. It's just, I don't know, it's an opportunity to try different things.
Fuck yeah, bro. That shit is, man, just take my money. No one is Magnetic Press, because it's going to be a magnet to your wallet, folks. Let me tell you, that is some sexy ass books right there. Let me tell you. And then, of course, you guys touched upon an iconic IP. Whereby, role-playing games, not just comic books, folks, and graphic novels, but role-playing games.
Yeah.
Like, talk about landing this IP within Magnetic Press and on this type of platform, a game at that.
Well, we've had so about 3 years into running Magnetic independently, Magnetic was acquired by Lionforge, and while Magnetic was an imprint of Lionforge got the rights to Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
They didn't do anything with it. So then when Lionforge decided to break Magnetic out to be independent again, we're still owned by the same parent company, but we're now independent of Lionforge. You know, being in video games for 20 years, it's like gaming is always in my blood. And I used to play Dungeons and Dragons and Villains and Vigilantes and all of these old school RPGs, Paranoia. And so we're like, well, let's make some role-playing games. Well, why don't we've got this license for Planet of the Apes that's just sitting at Lionforge. Let's make a Planet of the Apes game. So that's we dusted off that agreement and rolled up our sleeves and made this awesome game.
Dude, and it's beautiful. I mean, look again. Look at the
of course, the slipcases. Yeah,
dude, it's fucking soap porn, bro.
Yeah.
Gosh, like this, folks. The holidays are coming up and shit. I mean, this is the type of shit you need in your life. Like, if you want to get something fancy for the comic book nerd in your life that looks just dope, this is it. This highly impressive. I'm telling you. Like, yo, murdering it. And then look at the game itself, all the pieces. I mean, how much fun did you have with this, bro?
Well, so this is primarily developed by Andrew Gaska. Okay. I mean, Magnetic published it, and I
spoke to Andrew too as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So he was really the creative drive behind this product. I mean, I supported everything that he wanted to do, and I thought it was great. But yeah, I mean, just a chance to it's a whole universe. There's a chance to just play in this giant sandbox. And there's so many different ways to play. It's great.
Have you played yet?
I have not. We just ran our first demos this past weekend. There was a convention in Madison called Game Hole, and we ran about 6 demo sessions there, and people loved it.
That's it. I mean, like you said, it's iconic, dude. I mean, it's Planet of the Apes, man. Shit, I can't wait to. Are you guys gonna come down to maybe PAX on the East Coast and show this off, or what?
Yeah, maybe not. I know that there's PAX Unplugged in December. I don't think we'll be there in December, but we're definitely going to be lining up a bunch of shows for next year.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you in person, and hopefully, if it's this, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Have some fun. And then you got this other again. Look, man, the section is continuous, folks, on these books. Sometimes I tell you that these people do not play around, son. Now talk to us about again. Fuck, bro, another beautiful looking book. Talk to us about On Mars.
So On Mars was a 3-book series in France, but we were like, well, let's just collect it into one volume, and then because we are into that book porn, we're like, well, let's make a really sweet slipcase. And what can we do to make this slipcase unique? Well, let's give it a kind of a stony texture, and let's cut some letters into it. So I'm telling you, it's like, if you're gonna do something in print, make it something worth keeping. I think too many books and comics and magazines are just, nowadays people just think of them as disposable. And I'm like, no, you want to keep these, you want to show these off, you want to display these.
Absolutely, man. I'm proud of the stuff I got there. I particularly am fond of those that have nice spines. You know what I mean? Like, it'll drive the eye. Oh, what's that? Oh, all right, great. Yeah, come into my world for a minute.
I did get. So this is the Planet of the Apes.
Oh man, look!
So it's not printed yet, but this was a dummy that the manufacturer sent just to show us what it could look like, and the cover, all embossed, and there's a texture on the side there, and embossed logos. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it, like I said, it's an unprinted dummy, but the cover's looking sweet. I mean, this is going to be nice when it finally comes out.
An unprinted dummy, that's a hell of a collectible there to keep it like that.
True. Yeah, and I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, it's like a kind of a faux leather, white leather.
It is. Oh my god, bro! Yeah. Fuck, man, you're gonna. Damn it! Thank God I'm single now. I would have been murdered.
You can still order until December 4th. We're locking orders on December 4th.
You hear this, folks? December 4th is doomsday if you're not gonna pitch in. You gotta get there. Pitch in immediately. Get your version. Again, it's a great Christmas gift. Would it be delivered by Christmas or will it be delivered after Christmas?
No, it's at this point. At this point, I'm hoping that we have everything in the warehouse in February. So probably in hands in March. Probably.
There you go, folks. You listen. You put a nice little picture of it or what they're gonna be getting in the next year. That's what they're gonna do. You make them wait for something good. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's limited edition, so we'll be able to get it.
Actually, what they have to do is they wait for that, keep shopping on Magnetic Press. They're gonna show you the website in a little bit, and you can find more dope books. But look at this art, dude. Look at this.
Yeah. I mean, the digital books will be available, so you can still read the book on your iPad while you wait.
Man, I'm loving this the look of these books, and let's get into this website too. As I was saying, man, here we go, folks. All you gotta do is visit this website right here. I've been showing it on screen, So show that love right there to this website because if you want some good stuff, man. Hey, there you go. I love it. I got the home of sci-fi and Curves Corners. Hey, yeah, it sounds naughty. Curves Corners. Hey, what's going on? What's going on here? I love it though. All right, so. Look at this amazing website, a lot of good stuff, man. We got all these amazing titles. I mean, you got all ages, kids, middle grade, teen, YA, mature. You got art books and even prose. Dude, I mean, you got everything. I mean, look at this, baby. Look at this lineup of titles, man. No wonder he can't pick what his favorite is. It's difficult.
I can look back at like what my favorite was in sequence since we started. Yeah. But if I do that, it's like every book since we started. Every book is my new favorite.
And you got some you got a hell of a lineup of titles and creators. I mean, it must be fun, working with so many different people and personalities. And then you say that you go overseas and then working. I mean, talk about that experience. Any particular fun experience you've had as a standout? Working.
Well, I think most recently, so I mean, the last 2-3 years, we've published a number of books from. So there's an art studio in France called Label 619, and they published. So we published their books Shangri-La and Carbon and Silicon and Midnight Order and Frontier, the book that I was telling you about. Those are all by Label 619, and this past year, we started talking about how can we start working closer together. So we just signed an exclusive agreement to be their English language publisher. So yeah, if you type in and go to, I think it's just label619.com, should show off all their stuff. I mean, they're named after 619, which I guess is the zip code in San Diego.
Yeah,
the area code. And yeah, that's them. And they just got so much great stuff that I think, we're just gonna have so many great books over the next couple of years.
Instead of low riders, low readers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they
excellent.
They do a lot of pulpy stuff, kind of their homage to kind of that old EC comic days.
Well, excellent. We need more of that to come out, man. That's what the world needs. More horror, more fun, more wild fun. I mean, it was the Carbon and Silicon, Frontier, and Frankenstein are Omni Buddy's favorites along this. Now, let me ask you something. We're having fun here, but I gotta ask you something. What are some of the major trends that you see in the comics industry right now that you're excited about or maybe concerned about as a publisher?
I mean, actually, I would say Kickstarter as a platform is both exciting and concerning at the same time. It's it's a double-edged sword where it's like, it's great to democratize the tools so that everybody can do it. But then once everybody can do it, everybody does it. And it's like, and probably 85% of it isn't that good because everybody's just kind of phoning it in. So you just got a lot more noise that you gotta speak over. It's harder to float to the surface when there's that much competition.
And Chris had to chime in with his favorites, Snow and Wolf.
Yeah, which I think we're out of print right now, but we may reprint it again next year.
Of course, Chris is gonna pick the one that's gonna be hard to get. Of course. Thank you, Chris. Can we get something that people can buy right now instead of waiting for next year? Come on, man. Only playing. That's awesome, though. I love to see that the supporters on the stream right now. So let me ask you something else. How do you see the role of digital platforms and technology shaping the future of indie publishing?
I mean, definitely it gives you a platform to sell stuff and to reach a new audience. I mean, I think that's one of the things is doing 40 Kickstarters. I mean, we've got a mailing list of, I don't know, 25,000 people, and that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, granted, we may only get 5 to 10% of them to come back to a Kickstarter, but that's enough to get us started, and then we usually pick up like another 1,000 people after that. So
5 to 10% of 25,000 is actually not bad, and you definitely get some funded projects out of that. They ain't no way you can't.
yeah, and the fact that every time we run a campaign, we gain another 500 new names or something. It's just organic, it's when somebody tells me or somebody asks how to break into Kickstarter, how do I hit that magic number? I'm like, well, don't expect it to happen overnight. You're not going to hit a home run first time up at bat. Just be happy with singles. Occasionally you might strike out, but you just step up to the plate again. And I'm making all these baseball analogies as if I'm a huge baseball fan.
But it's all right. Listen, it's in the air. It's an iconic World Series this year. Yankees, Dodgers. The Yankees in 6. I'm saying, all right, Yankees in 6.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's that. All right. And now, if you're a West Coast fan, Mike, I'm sorry, we could end this right now.
No, that's okay. Honestly, I don't have a dog in the race, so.
Oh my God! This guy said, "Go Mets." Bendito, no. I'm so happy. I didn't want to see a Subway Series. I wanted to see what we got. What I think is going to be legendary. Now, we are here at the 10-year mark for Magnetic Press. So let me ask you, looking even more forward, what are your goals and or dreams for Magnetic Press over the next 10 years?
Well, it took 10 years to get our first Eisner, so I guess maybe in our 20th year we'll get our second one. But I think in the meantime, we've got a lot of exciting things come. I mean, moving into games. I mean, Planet of the Apes that's kind of getting us into the room, getting us into the conversation. So we've got a couple other games in development for next year. I think this Label 619 group, they're going to keep putting out great books. So I think that's going to be great for us and them. And yeah, there's something else that I don't know. We're just going to keep doing it. There's just a lot of cool opportunities that we're just going to keep pursuing. I think working with Planet of the Apes got us an introduction to not only just licensed products in general, but arguably the biggest gorilla in the room working with Disney. So that was trial by fire. And I think, the lessons we learned from working with a solid licensor like that is just going to help us out as we land some of these other conversations that we're having right now. So we've got a lot of interesting projects.
And we have a question from Kenneth that's on the stream asking, does Magnetic Press print for anybody? Like, can someone buy publishing and help an advice for an independent title? So I guess, do you help independent creators or if they want to bring a story to you or do you do what you say, just go overseas and kind of pick and choose titles?
Yeah, I mean, we are still pretty small and boutique, so I mean, our slots are pretty limited. Like I just turned in our complete, like everything we've got planned for 2025 is already locked in.
Oh wow!
2026. So yeah, we're not really open or looking for submissions, but I'm always happy to talk to people and give suggestions and advice.
Oh, there we go. So are you guys, talking about you're going to be making any appearances for the rest of this year, con-wise, or early next year?
No, I don't have anything scheduled for the rest of this year other than, coming back from Gamehole Con, I realized that, man, conventions are exhausting. So.
Yo, high five, man. Let me tell you, fucking New York Comic Con made me feel my age, Mike. Let me tell you.
And I missed New York because it was the same weekend as this Game Hole show. I mean, we had already committed to Game Hole, so I had to go to that one. But I'm sure I'll be going to different shows next year. I don't have that schedule yet, but I think we're at that stage where we're leveling up. So I think we're just going to be more and more visible.
Excellent. All right, so talk to me, Mike, before we go. Like, what advice would you give to an aspiring publisher or creators who want to break into the industry?
It's kind of two different people asking two different questions. Someone who wants, like a creator who wants to get into the industry, I would just say create the thing, whatever it is. If you're an artist or you're a writer or an artist writer, just create the book. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission. Just do it and show that you can do it. That's the first big thing. And then as far as like publishing, if someone who wants to get into publishing, learn about printing and logistics and shipping and stuff, because all that boring stuff is necessary.
I got so learn that geeky boring stuff real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get very familiar with spreadsheets and schedules.
Oh my God, be an Excel whiz, if you will.
Yeah.
Come on. I hate Excel.
Yeah.
Please keep me away from it. I'm a neat freak. I do things differently, but Excel really drives me up the wall. I used to be so good, and one day I lost everything, and I was like, I'm not going to recreate this.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that was doing comic base before comic base even existed, a comic book inventory, all on Excel. I mean, this was an insane Excel spreadsheet. And then once I showed him comic base when that came out, I'm like, yo, everything you've done is just look. He goes, oh shit.
Yeah. I spent way too much time, and everybody who looks at my spreadsheets, they have like a stroke, a mini stroke, because I use color coding on everything. There's like a million colors on the spreadsheet. Yep. Helps me because I come from more of an artist and a visual background, so I know what that green means. I know what the blue cells mean, just from the colors.
Yeah.
Nobody else does, but
yeah, I do that on my calendar. That's how I divided and conquered New York Comic Con. So every color was someone else covering. So I said, you're this color, I'm this color, you're that color. Just in case you don't know what the hell is going on, just know that this is your color, so that means that's you.
Right. That's all you need to know is just remember your color. You can forget all the rest.
Yeah, exactly. And right here, Kennedy says he's an author and an artist, just needs help with things like Kickstarter and publishing. So he definitely appreciates the advice you've been given. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, contact at Magnetic Press. We get emails there, and I try to reply as soon as I can.
Yeah, there we go. My man's on the sources. He's a whiz. He's a boss. Even though 10 years in the game, he's got 2025 planning 2026, and even planning, the next 10 years. Well, in 2034. Oh my God, 2034 already. We're about to get to. That'll be the 20-year anniversary where these boys are going to be kicking some ass still, man. I cannot wait. And the self-point is probably going to be even more incredible by then. It'll probably be all technology involved, bookends and whatnot, all glowing and shit.
Yeah, hydraulic steam opening books that
unfold. Oh my God, you make a steam book story and it actually acts like kind of steam book, like a steam. Oh man, let's go. I want to see this. Magnetic Press could do this. I'm telling you, because their chef porn is incredible, folks. So please check them out on social. So easy. Magnetic Press. Now, if you want to visit their website, for those that don't know, it's magnetic-press. All right, and not dash the word, folks. All right, the actual little symbol. All right, so magnetic-press.com. Check them out. Support independent comics. This is an amazing publisher. They've been around for 10 years for a reason. They're going to be around for a whole lot more, I'm sure. So, Mike, bless. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Putting people on to Magnetic is, all these new books, these campaigns that people need to be aware of. And so all these Crusaders that were tuning in, I appreciate you so much. Kenneth is going to definitely hit you up, he says, at Magnetic. Omni Buddy pours fog juice into. Hey, he gets it. He wants this too. Let's go. The madness begins at Magnetic Press. I'm loving it. All right, so you're awesome, Mike. Mi gente, thank you, everybody. You know what it is. Check everything out at comiccrusaders.com. We put stuff up daily for myself, my familia, undercovercapes.com. Check out this week we dropped, K-pop, Cosmos, and that one is hitting off. They talked about G-Friend. They getting me into listening to this music now. I can't believe it. I never thought I'd listen to K-pop. Now they got me listening. You know what I mean? As well. Do you listen to any K-pop? Or when you're creating, or let's say you're helping to create that shelf porn that create that. That's my last question before we go. You're helping to create that shelf porn out of those books that are standing behind you, that wonderful packaging. What is your mind listening to? What are you listening to? What type of music to get you into the creative mindset?
All kinds of stuff. I mean, it really depends on the time of day. I mean, it could be soundtrack stuff. It could be, trance, BT, it could be hip hop. I mean, it's classic rock, all over the place.
Well, he is a DJ. Where will you be spinning next?
Yeah, I am not a live performer, that's for sure.
It's gonna happen. We're gonna have to do it when you do the magnetic press 20-year party, man. We gotta see you spinning the 1 and 2s. And
there you go.
Using the 1200s, going back in the day, all right?
I'll be standing right next to Idris Elba. Right.
Let's go.
There we go. Up there.
I love it. That's Mike. It's Al Mega. Check out Magnetic Press. Check out Comic Crusaders. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. ¡Huepa!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. Like the concepts, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.